Hi everyone, my name is Ron from International Trade Council. Our third pitch for today is from IDenTV LLC, and our speaker is Amro Shihadah, co-founder and COO. So just few housekeeping rules. If you have any questions, on the right side of your screen, there is a session tab. Below the session tab, there is a Q&A. So if you have any questions there, you can actually type in your question and you'll be able to answer the questions after the presentation. So without any further ado, I will give the floor to Mr. Amro. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Thank you for your time worldwide. I know it's late for some, so I will jump right to it. So we are IDenTV. We specialize in next generation real-time applied artificial intelligence and machine learning solutions. I focus on the word applied because many of AI companies really can't walk the walk. They talk the talk very well, but we really focus on transforming how one interacts with and manages big data via applied artificial intelligence. So in doing so, the goal of our company is really to transform this tsunami of big video data really into real-time analytics. The system is designed for non-technical users and technical users alike to convert pain points into truly actionable, customizable, and monetizable AI models and interactive big data analytics. So as we know, especially with COVID accelerating this, the projections were for 80% of all web traffic to be video by 2022. I feel as though we surpassed that, and as you can tell, we're interacting via video now. The AI market size is around $100 billion, and expected video analytics are expected to reach $30 billion by 2025. The current solutions are very antiquated. They require costly, expensive, error-prone, delayed manual labor, or the technical solutions do not scale or cannot scale to real-time environments and handle the multilingual, unstructured data that's presented. So why does this matter? It matters because corporations, governments, intelligence communities, they cannot continue to operate blind. They cannot continue to be reactive. Firms must be proactive in handling big data and fight fire with fire, leveraging AI, automation, and workforce augmentation. So what's under the hood? Our core technology, IDenTV, was formed in 2013, and we focused on automated content recognition. What that means is we analyze 150 plus live streaming TV channels, and whether we're looking for content, for anti-piracy, for royalties, or if we're looking for advertising analytics, we detect, search, and match over 80,000 unique ads or reference clips to the real-time streams. This is all done via a back-end system, all in real time. This allows you to track your assets as they're disseminated across different outlets and mediums. You know, we quickly realize it's not just important to understand where the content is airing, but what the actual context of that content is. And that led us to develop a library of AI classifiers or engines. Running from computer vision, speech recognition, neural machine translation, natural language processing. All of this exists in a multi-tenant, multimodal, real-time architecture. We've also provided a platform aspect as well, along with robust APIs that can run, on any cloud agnostic, or they can run actually on-prem. We have also created a platform for non-technical operators to be able to interact with these AI engines without needing to know a single line of code. And as you can see, the variety of classifiers ranges from aerial recognition to brands and logos to facial recognition to object detection, speech to text, and so on and so forth. The real goal, is to also bring this into a multilingual environment. Whether, you can see here our automated speech recognition covers 35 different languages and dialects. That's all in real time, and it's closed caption and subtitle quality. Our neural machine translation has over 40 different languages, and using English just as a pivot language alone, you can pivot to over 400 different languages. So you can see here the wide variety of content we're able to then understand, extract rich metadata, and make actionable insights. As I mentioned, the key to our system is its ease of use. So whether the system was really built for non-technical users to augment our existing classifiers, our existing models. So whether it's adding new faces, adding new brands, adding new objects, the goal is to allow someone who's an operator, not a technical user, to create completely new models or augment our existing models in the same multimodal real-time environment. We've created a ton of data pre-processing tools. So I'll jump into a video really quickly. But the goal is to ingest, cluster, and then annotate a plethora of images, allowing folks to retrain the engines and future-proof their software moving forward. So if you look at the system, it can be done via a reverse image search. So if you have an object you need to add into your model, you can drag and drop that in, and it will collect images from the net. Now, if it's something more specific, and we chose something very obscure like tanks, for example, where you can't find a lot of footage of tanks from an aerial perspective, what the system does is it allows you to upload a video as well. And in using the video and the frames per second in the video, we're able to actually cluster the images. So when the user actually draws this first bounding box here, the system, the tracking algorithm, then understands this is what object I'm supposed to be looking at. And from that, it creates a labeled data set of the M17 Russian tank, of this, of that. And you can see here at second 6, M17 Russian tank, M1, M4. And from that, what you're able to do is then play out the rest of the video. And as each frame continues to pass, it's collecting that and clustering it for each one of these images. That allows you to quickly train a model and quickly add even objects into a custom model. So you start training, the training is in process, and it outputs a model. And that model you can then run and test. And the really, really great innovative piece here that we believe is nothing like any other system on the planet is being able to, from a live stream, pause and actually edit the annotation. So you can see here clearly a house was marked as a tank. You simply retrain the model, and now you're continuously improving what models you have to your disposal. Second, we've created a user interface to allow you to analyze an entire data set. So looking at facial recognition, you get a lot of dirt, it's garbage in, garbage out. So you want to make sure your models and your data sets are very clean. So this gives a visual tool for a non-technical operator to really be able to zoom in and be able to understand what's within a cluster. So the clusters can have a unique ID assigned to them. And from that, you can see here, it's clustered all the alike images. And you simply X out the images that don't apply and enter a label for the individual, and they're immediately indexed into the system. So this allows us to have great agility and provide kind of a future-proof approach where a non-technical, no data science team, no data scientist is needed to really interact with this data. Moving forward, the goal is to really allow companies, whether it's B2B, B2B2C, or B2G, deploy custom inference engines and models and gain optimal performance and even push towards the edge as well. So what is this called? It's called the video juicer. And why is it called the video juicer? Because much like juice, you take your fruits and your vegetables and you put them through the juicer to get the nutrients to your body. The video juicer delivers those nutrients in the form of contextually rich metadata. So whether it's coming from 15,000 feet in a UAV or coming from user-generated content from social media and everything in between, our system then employs the appropriate image and video classifiers, multilingual audio classifiers, and textual semantic classifiers such as natural language processing, all to output scalable, actionable, deep understanding, data-driven insights for unparalleled multimedia analytics. And the goal here is to be able to exploit these analytics for search and discovery, for monetization, for targeting, and we'll get into that shortly in the presentation. As you can see here, the video juicer applied in multimodal big data interactivity and content intelligence for the media industry. You can see here we're tracking the brand sponsorships and logos. We're providing a monitor of multiple screens at once. Really what this allows is for workflow creation. So to automate a workflow, you must first understand it. And inserting these capabilities into the workflow allows for a degree of automation, but still requires somewhat of a human interaction. Our goal is to understand the workflow and then strive for full automation as well. One thing that we also have been able to do is integrate the geospatial metadata from full motion video. These are embedded in the streams usually and include additional technical metadata, such as GPS coordinates, for example. This allows us to give us a 3D representation of actually where these detections are occurring and how they can optimally increase their brand locations and brand sponsorships, things of that nature. And we'll get into use cases shortly. as we look at the video juicer, I will have this video playing. The solutions have been blended. So we have AI, computer vision, audio speech recognition, translation, content recognition in a very interactive way. So whether you're dragging, dropping files, aiming it at a server, an S3 bucket, or something in the cloud, the system will process it. And this is our Gen 1 interface. But you can see here, it's actually processing all that metadata. So in the post-production workflow in media, you can see here, finding a clip that's engaging to users is critical. And that can sometimes take weeks. So instead of training models or manually going through it, you can actually search your entire global repository of video, specifically for a frame of Cassie Randolph, who was second place in the Bachelor, and the Bachelor happy. She's getting eliminated next week. So that's how you engage your audience, and you create this content in minutes instead of days or weeks. So really, it's a huge workflow optimization. Then tracking earned and unearned media. So whether you're paying for it or not, the goal is to be able to provide that type of granular insight, both internally and externally. And then lastly, we're able to analyze both digital video, tweets, and articles to really understand in a multilingual setting who is speaking, what are they speaking about, what named entities, what topics, and extract trends from that. And one example I like to use here is Nike. So a few years ago, Nike, one of their shoe exploded and almost injured a college basketball player. And you can see their sentiment drop greatly. Had Nike been able to quickly identify this incident, they could have changed their messaging from "we sell space-age shoes that are lightweight and are indestructible" to "hey, we're Nike, we've been around for 60 years, you can trust us." This sentiment drop led to a $1.3 billion market cap drop. Now, we can't assume to correlate the two, but we can make an assumption that had Nike been able to identify this incident and act more rapidly, maybe more consumer sentiment would have been favorable in their direction. Moving on to an applied use case, working with SailGP, which is the leading sailboat racing league. It used to be America's Cup, if anyone's familiar. They previously had a service that took 4 weeks to provide feedback on brand occurrences. We provide this information in real time. The data they provided was a simple Excel spreadsheet that really wasn't actionable at all. What we created was an engine that allows us to understand if a logo should be present, and then search the repository of logos and brands to deliver the match. And you can see here the system operating in real time on the boats. What this also does is it allows us to push this data into business intelligence tools and visualizations. So they can see exactly how long it was on the screen, what boat it was on, was it the beginning, middle, or the end of the race. And then we can also share information about how to optimize the placement of these banners and logos. So whether you're getting optimal screen time here, or it needs to be moved up 6 inches, we're able to give the inside sales team intelligence and data-driven metrics, not only to retain existing sponsors, but to go and see and sell to new sponsors as well. And as you can see, this is a real video from the real event. Obviously, there's some false positives. No system is perfect, and we don't pretend to be that way. However, we have robust solutions and great agility and experience in providing these custom systems in very short time. So moving on, we've been recently working with the media industry more and more, and working with Bloomberg in the Middle East, we've created a digital media platform. This is meant for allowing journalists to create more engaging content without spending more time to do so. So imagine you're a journalist typing an article, writing your article. Our system will understand the text as it's coming in and suggest videos that come through from the different wire feeds, from AP, from Getty, from Reuters, and pair it with videos or pair it with images and vice versa. So how does this work? So A is an AI-enhanced content management digital publishing tool. 2, a fine-grained personalization platform based on not only the user behavior, but understanding real-time behaviors and events. And 3, integrating this all into a closed digital advertising platform for these properties and entities. So first, the foundation is an entity relationship model where we've ingested millions of historical data points, if not more, millions of topics from Wikipedia, from live streams, from video. This was created into a large neural network to learn the relationships between each entity and topic. And this creates a novel method for relationship graphs, where distances between entities represent the semantic similarities. So, for example, the 2020 presidential election has a high correlation to Donald Trump, but it also has a high correlation, decently correlated to the COVID-19 vaccine, and which has a high correlation to COVID-19. Whereas the presidential election really doesn't have any impact on the vacations to the Italian Riviera. That's a very simple example, but I think it gets the point across. So after we've built this relationship graph, what's important is being able to extract this information. So we're using our speech, text, and visual engines to automatically detect language, translate speech to text, extract persons being talked about, extract places being mentioned, commercial organizations being mentioned, events, time and metrics, automated quote extraction and attribution, sentiment analysis around the topics and themes, key subjects and topics being spoken about, key phrases, semantic summarization, and that feeds into SEO. And people are then presented with image and video content to include with their text, as well as detection of people within that content, detection of unique insignias, brands, logos, visual concepts, understanding whether it's a soccer match or a shopping street, activity recognition such as violence, explosions, shooting, and then text extraction from video, voice, audio, and then understanding this and putting this all in the relationship model. And then the last piece, as I mentioned, was our GDPR compliant real-time event tracking platform, where we've developed a system where we're able to understand a user's location, device information, and then understand exactly where they're clicking, understand exactly how long they're engaging with data. So whether it's an article, whether it's a video, we understand the context of that information, we extract it, and that allows us to target the individual with more news or more advertisements or better placed advertisements in a much more engaging fashion. So really what we do is we understand the content, we understand the user, and from that we create user profiles. And these user profiles help us target content. So we know this user is interested in Manchester United, coronavirus, US politics, Premier League soccer, Middle Eastern politics, and the iPhone. So it calculates a likely interest score for the user. So from the content they've ingested, then it allows, using the profile builder, then it's outputs content to pass to this user. You can see the sports content is obviously the highest correlation for this user. Moving forward, the benefits of this really are endless. The goal is to map interest scores for every user, but really the goal is to allow companies to engage more easily with their end customers, whether that's changing the type of content, how it's delivered, the way it's delivered, really by eliminating irrelevant content and prioritizing content that the user has a high likelihood of engaging with, we can achieve a much higher success rate and returning users in comparison to typical ranking approaches or collaborative filtering or traditional personalization engines found in the media entertainment industry. So, of course, this feeds into advertising, where it's no secret a traditional banner advert is getting 0.03% click-through rate, whereas a Twitter advertisement is getting 2% click-through. Why is this happening? This is really happening because Twitter's found a way to engage with users in a short form and also provide them a way where it's an embedded advertisement. It doesn't feel like it's disrupting the flow. As you can see here, we've delivered a capability that allows the actual properties to not have to rely on other platforms for their advertising. Now they can actually control their on and offline media planning and spend, and actually disperse it to their different properties and different regions and different users. The goal here is to take this current on the left, current that presentation where you have advertisements that are relevant, breaking up the content, to embedded advertisements, where if I'm a sports fan, you can clearly see an invitation to buy tickets to a European soccer match. This creates better transparency and better engagement with users. Lastly, as I mentioned, IDenTV was born in defense. And what we've done is been able to capture CCTV video and provide retail and security analytics. So really without violating privacy. So really the goal here is to understand, who is entering, how many people, where is the total footfall, where are they spending their time, what is their gender, age, demographics, so you can better target and provide an in-store experience. As we know, the new normal is approaching, and that this is something we think is very important, as does McKinsey in 93 in their reports here. We also can count, the return on investment on fixed advertisements and physical advertisements, or shelf spacing, or traffic optimization. We also have traditional means such as shoplifting detection, weapon detection, of course, perimeter breaches and security detections in an automated fashion. So this is deployed currently over 250,000 sites globally. We're automating 70 to 80% of a highly manual and costly process for a large private security firm, analyzing millions of images from full motion video daily. And this really takes 80% of the false positives out and lets them repurpose their workforce. What we can do here is automated overcrowding and alerting, demographic and attribute extraction, queue detection and analytics, so queue size, average wait times, queue demographics, and real-time person tracking, counting, and anomaly detection on complex visual scenes. So really, that is at a high level what we've done here. A lot of this is more defense focused, but moving forward and looking at our competitive landscape. So you see some big names on here, but the real key here is everyone is focused on visual analysis or audio analysis, but not both. And none are focused on real-time video analysis. And none are focused on ease of use or providing customizations to their AI models. Lastly, none of the big players want to run on-prem. They want to provide you services that work 80% and solve 80% of your solution and leave you with 20% of the solution to solve on your own. And they really want to hook you into their cloud. So we're cloud agnostic, we can run on-prem, and we're very cost efficient. This is some of our team. Me and my father founded the company, writing a patent in 2012. We're joined by three PhD scientists specializing in everything from computer vision to natural language processing, and of course, our CTO has extensive experience across all industries. Thank you very much, and I'd love to leave this time for answering questions.
Thank you for that very interesting presentation, Amro. So, guys, if you have any questions, on the right side of your screen, on the session tab, there is Q&A option, so you can type in your question there, and Amro will be happy to answer all your questions. By the way, Amro, someone here said that he wants to talk. They want to talk to you, Donna Valario from on the feed up.
Yes, that's it.
Yep.
So, sorry, I'm having a hard time seeing it.
Yeah. So we have two questions now. Are you looking for funding?
Yes, so we're actually planning to open our funding round at we're targeting probably the end of Q1. And I can share my information, Colin, if that helps. Here, I will type it in the chat for you guys. And yes, so we're looking for growth capital at the moment. We really think there's a lot of market share that we can capture, and not only in the private security industry, where we're partnered strategically with a large provider based in Ireland and has a global footprint, but we really believe that the EMEA and international markets have a lot to provide and a lot to offer. So how do we define this business? So we provide AI microservices. How those services are used depend on the vertical. So whether it's when it's in security, you're looking at a lot of object recognition, brands and logo insignias, license plate reading. But when you're looking at media, you want to know everything from facial recognition, who's in the scene, the context of the scene, what's being spoken about. And when we look at live events, where this is really valuable, is understanding these things in real time, and then providing these analytics so they're actionable to see more engagement, to be able to innovate, to be able to reach your audience in a more effective way. We are looking to find. We've worked with Bark in the past on some media monitoring, but we'd love to explore some business in India. So feel free to message me on LinkedIn or shoot me an email after we connect.
All right. Do you have any other questions? By the way, Amro has a virtual booth, so you can visit him there, and also you can. There is a direct message option on this platform. So if you would like to reach him directly, you can also type in his name and you can message him directly. Any other questions?
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all your time, and thank you for the questions.
Yep, that will be it. Thank you so much for your time, Amro,
Thank
and
you, Ron.
thank you for your time today. And thank you, guys.
Everyone, everyone have a great
Oh,
afternoon and a great evening.
sorry, there's one question here. How
Oh,
about
sorry, more questions? Sorry.
GDPR? He's asking about GDPR.
Yes, so our GDPR, let me see. So GDPR, yes. So I forgot to mention. So we do a lot of illicit content monitoring, and from that, we've developed an engine that allows us to automatically blur content. So we're able to actually eliminate all personal identifiable information. That's on the vision side. On the real-time tracking of users for engagement on the news media side that I mentioned, we actually don't care what the user's name is, what their identity is, what their gender is. We actually look at location, device ID, and what information they're interacting with. If they choose to subscribe or register to the site, then we have that extra information that we can correlate to that unique ID. But really, what we're looking for is that real-time event tracking to see what they're engaging with, to target them with better content and better advertisements in that real-time moment. Does that answer your question, Mr. Ahmed?
All right. So, yep. Thank you. Yep. All right. Wonderful. So, we can take a last final questions if there's any. All right. So I think that's it, Amro.
Thank you guys so much for your time. It's been a pleasure, and this is an awesome summit. Thank you, Ron.
Have a great day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.